Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome back to Tarot Tuesday, Tarot Reviews Day. I'm super excited to see you all here today, and I bet you are super excited to see my makeup today because it's going to go along with our deck. But before that, one of my regular watchers, Shirley, hi Shirley baby, if you're watching, pointed out last week that I was doing the last unicorn deck, and this week is the beginning of the year of the horse. So the only way that timing could have been more perfect is if I had done it today, but I just sort of accidentally tuned into that. And I feel like the reading brought so much great energy for thinking about, you know, the Lunar New Year and what the year of the fire horse could mean for you. So if you haven't seen that one, go back and watch it. I have an archive on YouTube, but it should still be posted to my Facebook page. This week, however, today is the Lunar New Year. We've got Ramadan starting. It's just like holidays, holidays, holidays. And the kind that really try to get you through the rest of the winter. So when I was looking at my shelf today and thinking, which deck should I do? This deck came out to me because as soon as I saw it, because I had them oriented this way, and I was like, yes, girl, we need this color in our lives right now. It is, I love the snow so much, but in Greenbelt, we've had snow on the ground for like 2 solid weeks, can't go out for our walks. And it's been sort of a chilly winter here, and we're in the middle of the fall, of a thaw, rather, because my allergies are definitely allergizing. However, that's fine because my red nose just makes my rainbow blush look a little bit cuter. So let's take a look at our beautiful deck. So this is called the Prism Oracle by Nicole Pivarotto. And it is, I never would have bought this deck for myself. I don't think because I had seen it, and I'm not much of a minimalist in my aesthetic, as you know, and this is a very minimalist deck in terms of its artwork, as you will see. But my friend, a local psychic and just all around amazing shadow worker, asked her, so if you need to work through any kind of dark night of the soul, hit me up. I would absolutely refer you to Aster before I would refer you to anybody. They're incredible. But they use this deck when they read for their clients and bring it to our tarot group quite a bit. And I just saw how this deck just kind of works and jams. And I was like, I've got to get this deck, man. So this deck, it's color, right? It's very simple. It's like we have our chromatic colors, right? G BIV. And there's a simple minimalist line drawing that draws out a word. So basically, this deck uses all of the chromatic colors plus black and white. And each of these has 5 hues. So like 5 hues of green, 5 hues of red, and each of these has its own energy, right? Because we're doing not just all the same color green, we're going to be doing different hues of green. We want to kind of tune into the energy, right, of that. And since I'm like going green, I mean, you can see it here. None of them are the same, right? They're all different, but it's just an exploration of each color and how that color keys into a specific vibration of emotion, right? Yeah, it's really, really neat. And so, so even though this is like, I am a maximalist, I love color. I love color so much that I can't believe I didn't think to get this oracle before I saw it in action, because like, okay, every art historian has their academic kink, right? The thing that really, really gets them excited and they could do the reading for hours and hours and forever and not get bored with it. Mine is color. My master's thesis was all about light and color. I'm even doing a little section where I go through the history of the color blue because I'm talking about evil eyeing. in this one chapter of my dissertation. But like Moishe Barash, Paul Hills, Marcia Cross, like these are some of my favorite readings that I bought the books and they're on my shelf, and they're going to stay on my shelf even after my PhD is long done. Because color for me is beautiful and light for me is beautiful. And I think that the reason I got so into studying it was because it was kind of preparing me to engage with it in a spiritual, more of a spiritual way, right? So, yeah, so, you know, you've got your chakras are all aligned with a color. Color psychology is incredible. Color relativity is incredible. The way that your eye perceives it, but the way that color and emotions work together, the way that color and insight works together, the way that color and your intuition, right? So if you're a reader and this deck is interesting for you, this deck is a great deck for like little 1-card pools. It's great as an altar card. So like I would maybe like if I were to shuffle through and I would pick out this one for sweetness, right? And it was just Valentine's Day. So, you know, I might want to put this on my altar and do some journaling around how this makes me feel or what the word kind of brings up for me. In a reading, this is not something I would do an entire reading with. This is the kind of thing that I would maybe use as a supplement to a full tarot deck. I love the way that Aster uses it. They just sort of use it as like a little button, right, on a reading to be like, what are some things that you need to go away with? What are some actionables, right? And I've seen them pull 3 at a time, and it's weird the way that it kind of even almost makes a little bit of a sentence. Like when I shuffled through this earlier and asked if it had any wisdom for me, I got isolation, space, protection, confidence. And I was like, this is almost like an entire sentence telling me about like my need for rest and self-care, right? So it's just a really jolly little deck to work with. And there's a lot of ways that you can apply it, but it's something that for me is supplemental to a fuller reading as opposed to something you would do all on its own. But the author says, you know, do what you want. There's so many ways to use this deck. So creativity, on that note, I'm going to give her a little shuffle-roo, and I'm going to see what wisdom that she has for us today. I'm going to turn it so that I don't see what the things are. I'm going to see what wisdom she has for us today. What does the collective, what does the collective need right now? Oh my goodness. And I think I want to get one more card. We're just having stuff falling out of the deck here. This one here. So the first card that actually fell out was Sweetness. And the next card that fell out was Surrender. And the third is Growth, right? So you see what I'm talking about here, that when you lay out a few of these, you get like a much fuller picture than you would if you were to just pull one, right? When you come in with an inquiry. So this makes almost like a little sentence for us. We have sweetness, surrender, growth, right? Are we surrendering to the sweetness of growth? It's interesting that this growth card came out because when I was opening my circle to do this reading, I felt like I kind of like sensed a little sprout in the center of my forehead. And I did ask them, what does the collective need to know for their growth today? Help me channel a message. So it's interesting that I got this card, and this deck kind of pulls a whammy like that on me a lot. It kind of goes on the nose. Maybe right now we need to be thinking about adding a little bit of jam, adding a little bit of sweetness as we kind of surrender to the fact that joy and grief are sisters, right? As we surrender to the fact that life is made of both sweet and bitter. And in order to grow, we maybe need to have both, but it's that sweetness is the thing that really tempers and helps us weather the bad stuff. So for instance, I was just talking about like, oh my gosh, I need some color in my life. We've had all of this snow, right? Things have been kind of dismal and chilly and gray here in Greenbelt. But thinking about, you know, that's soup weather, that's bread baking weather, right? This is the kind of stuff that has helped me not go completely stir crazy during this time, right? So like by embracing the sweetness of life and surrendering to what's happening, and understand that surrender does not mean you're just going to lay down and take something toxic, right? Accepting something for what it is does not condone it or make it okay for it to be happening to you. If you have like a challenge, or if you're witnessing people being nasty to one another, surrender just means this is the moment. And so instead, and I feel like we've had this message come up for us a couple of times before, but it's just saying, this is the moment, this is what it is. And I'm going to try and find the silver linings. I'm going to try and find what's sweet. And I'm going to use this as a catalyst to grow closer to balance, to grow closer to, an integrated whole, to grow closer to what it is that I want, for myself to expand like this flower in the sunlight, right? So I think that's kind of the message that we're getting here, is that if you're feeling like winter doldrums, or if you're frustrated over anything that you're seeing happening, in life, or if there's a challenge that is happening to you, the kind of surrender you're being asked to make is not the lay down and take it, white flag, just let people do what they want. No, nay, nay, I say, right? This is the type of surrender that is serenity, where you can just breathe and take a moment and center yourself and act with presence and bring the sweetness into it to temper it, to melt the ice, right? And in that way, we have that growth that comes with spring. There we go. I'm feeling quite complete, as though this is our message for today. Oh my goodness. I love this deck, right? So like, while it's not something that initially was aesthetically my thing, seeing it in action really made me a believer. So this is the Prism Oracle. I love you all so much. If this raises any questions for you, feel free to DM me and book me for a reading or for a coaching session. I love you all so much, and I will see you next Tuesday. Mwah!